Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, and I say, what the hell did I ever build that cardboard structure for? I can't believe this. I actually took the trouble to build a good sun blocking structure, and we're back to the box. Unbelievable. It's not wide enough. Now what do I do? Tape more tape. Unbelievable. Tape more cardboard onto it. I think it's even worse. But I built a very solid structure that will not suffer any wood loss. And it's doesn't seem it didn't matter. It's not working. I also did what I said I was gonna do and washed out clothes and did a little bit of housework. My leg was not good. I haven't walked for 2 days where I took an actual exercise type of walk, which I need to do for my cardio. And just did something to my ankle and my knee when I half fell and hurt my hand extra. You know, when I was talking about catching myself and pulling up my 175 pounds or whatever I weigh. As far as the video yesterday and that marathon thing with me getting all weepy and stuff, I'm kind of like have mixed feelings about that. I think it's an interesting video. I think I held back on it too much, and I was too well, my Victorian mores always get in the way, so there was too many times in there where I did not. I tried to make things less crude than they actually are, so I search for nice ways to say things. But let me switch hands or something. That hand's still tired from yesterday. No, not that. Shame on you for thinking that. I'm mostly a lefty anyway. I play guitar left-handed, so that should give you a clue. But damn, what the hell? So this is going to be short because I did not see this coming. I talked to my cousin in Florida. I bought him that movie and sent it to him. It was less than $5 that I liked because we both love westerns. And so whenever I find a good western, I send it to him. Even though that's a ridiculous thing to do in this day and age, you know, you can just look it up and find it on the computer. But he's older than me, so yeah, I don't even think he uses a computer except for maybe to look at the weather on his phone. But anyways, I talked to him, and he finally got the straight story on why he kicked Godzilla in the balls. And he left Ohio and moved to Florida when he was 17. So he said he doesn't know exactly how old he was when he kicked my dad in the balls, but he said he's probably around 12 years old. And all he said, and he said he didn't really remember, but he said my dad was fucking with him, which probably meant that he was like, you want a box? And, you know, he like slapping him around a little bit, you know, like gently. But he said he did it impulsively and that it wasn't a kick and that he kneed my dad in the balls and that my dad, he nailed him and my dad went down to his knees and said, get the fuck out of here before I kill you. And then he ran off in the woods and hid and didn't come back until my dad left. So that's the story from the ball kicker's mouth. Is he's just like, oh, he just did it impulsively. And he was like, no, I was afraid of your dad. He's like, I never do anything like that with and if I would have thought about it, I just didn't think about it. He was just fucking with me. And I was like, how was he fucking with you? And he's like, I don't know. I just remember he was fucking with me. You know, it happened like 40 some years ago. So I was like, okay, it's probably like saying like, watch out, here comes the left, and like slap boxing him or something, or trying to teach him how to box, or, you know, obviously something like that. and he was like, "This is how I'll fight you," and kneed him in the balls. So that's the story. Um, as far as what I have to do today is I probably should text the landlord and tell him, set up a time for him to pick up the rent. It is the 6th. The rent is due on the 1st. I haven't heard from him. Um, the people that can give to the landlord are people that work, because they can just say that their employment has been adversely affected by the COVID virus since everything's shut down, bars, restaurants, gyms, theaters, just everything shut down. So that, I don't have that privilege because I'm getting my government stipend for my disability. So I figure I'll just go ahead and, just in case I need his, um, you know, good graces, if you want to call it that, or just if the next place that I get to move to uh, needs insists upon talking to my last landlord, you know, um, I could show him the letter that I could show the prospective new place I'm going to live at managers the letter that I got from the neighbor attesting to the fact that this guy who is impinging my character is a facilitator of the drug trade, and that um, you know I got like a actual signed document. I said call this guy and ask him what this neighborhood was like, because the guy actually left his phone number there, and just tell him what it was like in his old neighborhood when Gerald Miller ran the building next to his. But I don't know. I think I'll just pay the rent. And the other thing I have to decide is like the aid worker that's coming here in here tomorrow. She can't do anything inside the house, so that means I have to send her on shopping trips, which means I have to spend money that I don't really need her to spend. I could send her on some kind of like quest, maybe to get headphones for my guitar set up, because I don't like playing out in the open air. It makes me self-conscious, and it's rude. Um, so I don't particularly like being rude. Hence the pauses in the video, in the part where I was more or less implying that I was watching a girl touching her pussy publicly. I didn't want to say that, you know. I w- so I had to say, um, she rested her hand on a certain area. But yeah, I mean, it would take a stronger man than me not to be fixated by that sight. So, anyways, yeah, that's what I didn't like about that video mainly, is the amount of pausing and the amount of self-censorship I used. Um, since my channel is labeled 18 and over, I just don't like, I don't know. Like I said, I got those Victorian sensibilities. I can't help it. I'm not paying attention to my sun blocking. I have to figure something out with this. Um, yeah, this is a problem. But I was thinking, like, I was just cracking myself up because I was thinking, like, well, I could send her out to go bird watching. That wouldn't cost me any money. I could tell her I'm a frustrated bird watcher. That, I don't get to watch, birds anymore. So I could give her a monocular that I bought for when I would go fishing. And I bought it just not to look around, but also, like, there was like a jogging track at this place I would fish, and good-looking women would run down the jogging track, and then I would look through the binocular and watch them jog when the fishing was boring. And like I said, I got those voyeuristic tendencies that I think most people have. This is so annoying. This problem was supposed to be fixed. Um, I don't know how to fix it. Uh, what else? I have to. Uh, yeah, I have to. Like I said, I have to. I had to. I wanted to do more. I always wanted to do more, but I had to. I had to quit yesterday because my leg and my ankle were hurting me too bad, and I was fairly unstable on my feet, and actually stumbled a few times. I always seem to stumble backward since I did whatever I did to my ankle. It's like, and that's not good. I would much rather fall forwards than backwards. Backwards is not good. Forwards is better if you have to fall. So, since I made a marathon epic yesterday, I suppose I can just keep this short. And yeah, I'm not in the best frame of mind as far as wanting to do things. I don't want to text the landlord and set up arrangements for the rent, but I guess I will do that. It's already late in the day. As far as I'm concerned, it's 9:15. I've been awake since before the sun came to plague me. And uh, yeah. So I guess I'll go, I haven't really made a plan other than that as far as like dealing with the landlord and dealing and making a decision about whether I want to cancel my aid worker. I would like to see her get her money, but I have to devise a way where it doesn't cost me too much money to get for her to get her money. You know, like send her out for like a big pen, like like write a list with a bunch of shit I really don't need, but don't cost more than $5, so she can get paid. You know, uh, I don't, I don't know. I don't know why I have my glasses on. That's rude. Um, Let my glasses reflect off of this ridiculously blaring sunshine that I don't get to enjoy. I would like to go outside. I guess I could set up a chair in the back when I wake up in the mornings because there's some pretty janky steps that are concrete and tricky that lead to the back there. And I could sit out in the morning and, nobody really wakes up early in this building except for if the dog upstairs needs to do its business outside. So I could do that if I could find a chair to put back there. I might find one in the closet or something. Um, that might be an idea to try to keep my sanity during this whole thing. Um, yeah, what's another thing about my cousin in Florida is that they're shutting down all non-essential businesses, but he works at a sawmill and he's still getting to work. And I'm like, well, what are your hours? He goes, I work every day from 7:30 until 5:30 or something like that. And I'm like, what? He's working. You're working like really super long shifts, and so I was like, how is that essential? And he said, well, say people need lumber to rebuild, like house fires, or if there's like a natural disaster, floods. It's like I didn't think about it that way. But he's happy because he wasn't. He don't. He already exhausted his savings account. So that last time I talked to him, he was real upset because he wasn't getting paid. There was a delay in the bankroll or the payroll thing, and he wasn't getting paid. And he was like, the way the world has become very uncertain here in the U.S. Everything's become an uncertainty. So he's like, he also ran out of toilet paper, like legitimately, because he said, I really just go to this one convenience store. And it's like, so this whole ban on things, it's not really affecting me. He said, but now I'm out of toilet paper. I got to go, and they don't have any at the store I go to, so now I got to try to find some at a different store. And he was talking about like the Walmarts down there actually have lines of tape on the floor so that when people stand in line, they don't get too close to each other. He was also telling me how his boss, they have to wear earplugs because it's a sawmill, and they got too close to each other yelling, trying to communicate, and their boss came in and was like, "Hey, step the fuck back from each other." And then later on, he said his boss came right up to him and got like a foot away from him, and he was like, "Whoa," you know, habit is hard to break. So, um, anyways, um, so yeah, I did what I said I was. The things that I said I was gonna do yesterday, I did. Shaved, coiffed, boxes boxed up, uh, clothes washed. Didn't get to the setting up my guitar. Don't have a lot of verve and vim or vinegar today to do much of anything. So today's maybe a struggle. I don't know. But whatever it is I'm going to do today, I got to get started. And I talked a very long time yesterday, so I'm not going to do that today. And I will see you tomorrow, and I will have to figure something out about this because my arm is now officially asleep. I'm going to put this down. See, the sun already changed positions, and it's actually a little bit tolerable. But yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, and maybe I'll adjust the cardboard at an angle, or do a run through and see where the sun's at. And I have to let the cat in. I just remembered because I heard a strange noise outside, and I'm like, oh, I forgot to open the window to let the cat in, so I have to go do that. I basically have to get moving and get my ass out of bed, which some days, as we know, is easier said than done. But it's got to be done, and I will see you tomorrow, and hopefully I will be more interesting than I am today. So, goodbye.